Welcome to UNAM Chicago's CAFÉ EXPRESSO, a space for bilateral conversations with people from all walks of life. Tune in to Spanish Public Radio and follow us on social media. And now your host, Alberto Foncerrada.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Café Expresso. I'm your host, Alberto Foncerrada, and I'm really happy to be here having another Café Expresso. And in this occasion, I have a very special guest, Claudia de Garay Montoya. Hi, Claudia.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, a little bit nervous, but also excited of being here with you guys today.
Nothing to be nervous about. You're going to do fine. Well, I know that you're coming from it's called like the coordination, they call it the Department for Sustainability from UNAM, the office that basically that deals with sustainability. And that's a very important and very up-to-date topic. So I know that you're gonna share with us some valuable information. I wanted to start by asking you, what is the 2030 agenda that we hear a lot, but not many people know about? I know that this has been talked about in governments and in the media and everywhere. But when you ask someone what is the agenda, nobody really gives you an insight. Can you help us out?
Of course, well, the 2030 agenda, I see it as the survival kit for the world. It is a global action plan in which all the countries that are members of the United Nations committed to achieve by the year 2030. So it's the universal recognition that we are facing unprecedented problems in our planet. And to solve them, we need to accomplish different goals that relate the problems in a global matter. So by setting the table in this agreement, the nations are required to work together with common languages and with shared tools to resolve the problems in a sustainable manner. They divided it into 17 sustainable development goals that are commonly known as the SDGs. And each SDG has a specific targets that
SDG
guide the
stands for
actions.
Sustainable Development Goals, right?
Correct?
Okay.
Yes. So each country views the global action plan and they take it into their territories according to the realities that they're facing.
Interesting. Very interesting. And how are universities or University UNAM and other universities involved in this? What's their role in all this agenda?
I love it. The institutions of higher education, such as the UNAM, we play an extraordinary role because we are important actors for the SDGs. We are able to translate from the global or the macro level all the way to the local necessities because we understand how the targets must be accomplished according to the local problems.
Right.
We provide the information and the tools to assist in the implementation of the needed solutions. But we can see it as we are like both the actor, but the material that creates the bridges that
Mhm.
society needs with the governments or organizations to properly reach the targets. Because all of these problems, when you see it at the global level, well, frankly, there is impossible for only one group or one person to resolve. So by creating this knowledge, depending on the context and the dimensions, we are able to create the solutions.
This is a fairly new issue, or has it been around for a while? Kind of like is it in the university? Has been involved in sustainability for quite a while, or how old is your for example the department where you work in?
Well, the coordination office of sustainability at the university has only, it was created by 2018, so we're fairly new, but the problems around sustainability go way back. I mean, since the late 60s of the last century now, we we have always been engaging in the recognition of the problems. And actually, the SDGs are the continuity of the millennial goals that were set by 2000 to 2015. So these are problems that have been around for a long time, but this is the first time that I think, mostly because of the problems that they're facing, such as the COVID pandemic, that we are able to recognize that it involves all of us, and all of us are affected by these problems. So from our trencher as universities, we not
Mhm.
only educate the population, but we are able to work together. And we are not seeing it as that, okay, the action plan from here to 20 years or 15 years. No, we are able to do the practical actions that we must follow to sustain them after 2030 has been reached.
Oh, okay, okay. Just for the our audience who are just joining us, I'm having a conversation with Claudia de Garay Montoya. She's coming from the University Coordination Department for Sustainability at UNAM in Mexico. And I know that Claudia, I can see that you're very passionate about this issue, and it shows, and that's very exciting. I wanted to ask you something. You probably don't know, but Chicago and Mexico City are celebrating 30 years of sisterhood relationship this year. So, along those lines, I wanted to ask you: is there any kind of like common ground that is there? Do you know anything, or are there kind of like parallels on both experiences that you can tell us about?
Well, talking about the SDGs, and that's the beauty of them, they connect us. We have a particular SDG that has the common ground for our metropolitan areas. That's the SDG 11,
Hmm.
which refers to the sustainable communities and cities. And the targets referred mostly to the services and infrastructure that both of our metropolitan areas require for the welfare and security of their people. Because both, well, I understand Chicago and Mexico City share many commonalities, and but they also have the most important elements to accomplish the targets. Their people. I mean,
Hmm.
we have history, and we have so an heterogeneous
Hmm.
population. We're
Hmm.
very different. That's incredible. Also, we have the institutions such as the UNAM, but also many others. And of course, we have the history and the knowledge to work through more sustainable practices. Most of the targets of the SDG 11 go around housing and green areas and mobility and cultural patrimony. So, goods and services that must be accessible and sustainable during our lives. But at our level, as citizens of metropolitan areas, we usually appears to be like we are surviving our cities because of all the problems that we share. I mean, I'm sure that we cannot talk about I don't know, mobility issues, and it would be to appear that we're exact on the same space when we are in completely different cities. So to not survive our cities but actually living them, we have the targets of the SDG. I don't know in any other parts of in our cultural history. I mean, I understand that we share same communities in both of our cities, and I think that's great. Also, the
Well,
UNAM.
actually, a third of the population in this city is Hispanic, and of course, mostly Mexican. So yes, and yes, we have a presence in UNAM here, of course. Very proud.
Yes, but that's what I love when we talk about our cities that are huge and face so many problems. With the targets as they are placed in this global matter, institutions, I mean, not just the UNAM, we are, I mean, a global institution and the University of the Nation in Mexico, but many other. higher education institutions, such as the MIT, for example, work to give these solutions for our cities. I mean, I love when we see it as all the problems that we face around green areas, for example. When you usually talk about that problem with an authority or an expert in the matter, sometimes you see it as a discipline or something like far away, no? But as people surviving in the cities, they are the necessity for our welfare and our well-being and our security. So I love how we can choose any topic about the SDG 11, and I believe that we all have the same histories in Chicago and in Mexico City about it.
Right. You're absolutely right. And we have some of the same challenges and we face some of the same opportunities. I know that there was, when I was working here at the consulate, I remember I went to, they had this initiative of green roofs. I don't know if you've seen those, but Chicago used to be kind of like a pioneer on green roofs and the gardens on the roofs of uh, skyscrapers and buildings. So I thought it was very cool because you can have a park kind of like in a 30-story building, and that's the beauty because it saves a lot of energy, and there's a whole process behind it, right? And yeah,
Yes.
interesting.
No, and I love with the urban green areas or nature. It's not only about having the green, and it gives us a sense of calm. I mean, it actually gives us this security. I mean, we're social beings, and our bodies, whenever we are faced with nature, for example, they have such relief that we need mostly in during the COVID
Mm.
pandemic. So they give us this sense of security, but also clean the air. They provide us with food. I mean, I've seen these community gardens that we have here many types of programs around community gardens but also in Chicago, as you well said, you were pioneers in the matter. Both Chicago and Mexico City have been pioneers in many vanguards and things that we need today, we need to retake or reappropriate today.
That's right. That's right. And finally, I'd like to well, I'd like to invite you to engage more in. I know that we're going to engage more in cooperation, and it would be wonderful. One of my tasks here in Chicago as a cultural liaison, but also it's to build bridges with different institutions. So I know you are also very committed, you and the whole team, to strengthen cooperation with different universities and the academia. So I hope we can plant the seed, or the seed has been planted. So I'm looking forward to welcoming everybody in the team as soon as the pandemic subsides. And please let us know. Is there anything that you want to add?
Well, no, thank you. I believe that would be an extraordinary bridge to cross together. I mean, at the end, we belong at the same to the same institution, and we work together to strengthen our relationships and forming alliances with every group or institution in Chicago and other places in the world, so we can fulfill many of our duties as a global university. So it will be wonderful to be here again. And if I may extend a warming invitation to every
Absolutely.
person in the audience to engage with us throughout the comments in the video about their inquiries or interests, so we can keep these sessions of Café Expresso, and it would be awesome. And
Absolutely.
yes, I mean, we're at the moment preparing to launch our new website, but it would be fantastic if we could share with everyone the YouTube channel of the coordination office. We have an international seminar around frontier topics. We have conference both in English and Spanish about several themes that involve sustainability. And we offer an approachable explanation with top researchers and personalities, both from the UNAM, but also from high STEAM institutions around the world, as we cover many subjects around sustainability.
Well, absolutely. That's wonderful. And to our audience and to our listeners, well, you can see the website in our screen, and please be engaged. I know that Claudia would be more than happy to answer your questions, whether in the chat or any other time. Just give us your contact too. Claudia, thank you so much for being here. It was, I think it was a very fruitful conversation that we had. I know it's a very appealing subject, and thank you for your passion on this. And I'm sure we will be talking again soon. So please come back. And that's all the time we have. And to our listeners and to the people who just logged in into YouTube on our Facebook page. My name is Alberto Foncerrada, and you just listen to another edition of Café Expresso, space for conversation with people from all walks of life. Until the next time, thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was truly a pleasure, and I hope everyone enjoys it.
Thank you.